1968, Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, where Coach Paul Bear Bryant's Crimson Tide of the University of Alabama meet Coach Doug Dickey's Volunteers of Tennessee in an exciting Southeastern Conference football battle. College football today brought to you by Commercial Credit Corporation, offering personal loans and consumer services from coast to coast. By Colt 45 Malt Liquor, a completely unique experience. And by 60,000 Firestone Safe Tire Centers. From the colorful Smoky Mountain country of eastern Tennessee, Knoxville, as the Tennessee River flows hard by General Robert Neyland Stadium at the University of Tennessee, we are ready to play football on a perfect autumn afternoon. The Tennessee Volunteers and the University of Alabama Crimson Tide. All 62,449 seats have long since been sold for this classic gridiron encounter, and today it should be a great one. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. I think, as you can tell by my dress, I've just come back within the last few hours from Mexico City. I'll be calling the play this afternoon and have the pleasure of working with one of the finest football commentators of them all, Mr. Bud Wilkinson. And, Bud, this ball game today is really of Olympic proportions itself.
Well, these are two old rivals, and this game always has a great bearing on the Southeastern Conference standings. It'll have some bearing, too, on our top 10. Tennessee currently is ranked number 8, and I don't know that we're going to have another upset Saturday like we had last week or not, but Purdue, of course, being upset by Ohio State, was replaced in the standings by Ohio State. Southern California, number 1, Ohio State 2, going on down the line, as you can see, with Purdue dropping to 5, staying ahead of Notre Dame, and the University of Tennessee, number 8. It's a strange thing not to see Alabama in the top 10. Since Bear Bryant has been there, of course, they have always been threatening for the national championship and have been in the top 10 by far the majority of the time.
And I think perhaps the local newspaper this morning had a headline, "The Tide hopes for an hour of atonement." And that's the sort of vernacular you only find in this part of the country relative to football.
Well, I would say that their work's going to be cut out for them today defensively, because this Tennessee team has great striking ability on offense. They have fine passing from White. They're getting exceptional running at fullback from Pickens. And Flowers, who did not make the Olympic team in the hurdles, has given them another dimension at tailback. Let's take a look at Tennessee on offense. This is Bubba White on a ground level shot, and you can see that he's got some great moves as a runner in addition to being a fine thrower. He scored on that quarterback keeper play. This is his fullback, Pickens, a boy who's averaging over 6 yards a try. Very strong, and he runs like a halfback in the open field. The passing attack has been the key to the Tennessee offense. This is White faking to Flowers, dropping back, faking the throw, and then down the middle to McClain, who makes a truly sensational catch. The Alabama passing attack has also been excellent. They have a sophomore at end, Raniger, who they believe is cast in the same mold as Dennis Holman and the other great receivers that have made Alabama's passing such a great threat. This is Kelley, the quarterback, Alabama, dropping back and hitting Raniger. Raniger's got an average of 20.3 per reception, and I think that's reasonable for a sophomore. This is the quarterback, Kelley, for Alabama this time on a quarterback keeper, which is their basic play to get wide. He turns the corner here and then is knocked out of bounds by the halfback. They, too, have been getting excellent play from their fullback. Quick handoff to Jelaba. He breaks it outside the tackle, cuts back downfield, and then picks up extra yardage with powerful running.
And we'll be back to discuss the Tennessee offense right after this message.
Remember last winter? This year, get going with Firestone Town & Country 4-ply winter tires. Now on sale at lowest prices ever. Buy one new Firestone Town & Country tire at the everyday low price and get the second new tire for half price, plus tax. Firestone Town & Country tires. Guaranteed to go through ice, mud, and snow because they're built with deep, self-cleaning traction bars that dig in, take hold, keep you going when others get stuck. Ice grip safety studs available at low cost. White walls or black walls. Don't miss out. Buy one new Firestone Town & Country winter tire at regular price. Get the second new tire for half price. No money down, months to pay. And remember, Firestone guarantees you'll go through ice, mud, and snow, or we pay the toll. Head for your participating Firestone Safe Tire Center before the snow flies.
Well, but I think that when you pick up the Tennessee playbook, you need two hands because it's a football team that really knows how to move the football around. I guess it has to be one of the best offenses in the country.
Tennessee has the ability to attack everywhere. They can burn you with a long pass. They hit the short passes effectively. They run the sweeps well, and they also hit inside. Their quarterback, number 18, Weiss, is an excellent thrower. The fullback, number 34, Pickens, is averaging over 6 yards a try this season. And the return of Richmond Flowers, number 22, has given them the extra dimension to hit wide. Their attack begins with the inside running of Pickens. He's very effective on any type of inside play. Handing it to Pickens, and you can see the speed that this boy has as he breaks outside and then back downfield again. It's that ability to hit inside that sets up the wide attack and the passes. This is Pickens, and watch his power here. Touchdown, Tennessee. When you have that threat inside, the linebackers have got to stay up close. If the linebackers are back deep, it's too easy for the linemen to get to them. And when those linebackers do come up close, that sets up the passing. This is Bubba White's back, and you can see that he's a very maneuverable quarterback. First receiver wasn't open. He turned, ran 3 steps, and then hit Baker, who was wide open, as usually is the case when you're hitting the number 2 receiver on a pass pattern. One of the most dangerous receivers for Tennessee is DeLong, their tight end. You don't see too many tight ends that rank with the number 1 receivers on the team, but this boy has the knack of hitting on the line of scrimmage, faking the block, and then getting open downfield, and he's an extremely strong runner. Weiss again dropping back. DeLong fakes the block, then breaks over the middle. White unloads to him, and he's wide open, and he is strong, as you can see. Ground level shot this time. Weiss dropping back and hitting DeLong in the corner, and watch DeLong power it over the goal line for the touchdown. The return of Richmond Flowers, as I mentioned a moment ago, has given Tennessee maybe the one thing that they lacked in the Georgia game. Flowers failed to make the Olympic team in the hurdles, but he has burning speed. He had pulled a muscle which slowed him up just a little bit, and his return at tailback gives them the ability to get wide. Here he is sweeping. And he's learning, too, to run where that traffic is, as you can see on this play. Next one gives you some idea of what makes a great running back going wide. Watch him accelerate right now when he sees that daylight, and it's into the end zone with no one touching him. I believe one of the things we can look for today is Flowers rolling out as he's doing here, matching his speed against the speed of the Alabama linebackers, and that will put some great pressure on the defense of Alabama.
And we'll be back for a look at the Alabama attack right after this word.
In the dull and commonplace occurrences of day-to-day living, one thing stands out as a completely unique experience. Colt 45 malt liquor.
The University of Alabama offense improving steadily, I think, each week. Last week, a 31-7 victory over Vanderbilt, which shows the Alabama Lone Ranger offense ready to roll.
Their number 1 receiver is a sophomore, number 88, George Raniger. They believe that he's in the same mold as Dennis Holman and other great Alabama receivers. Unless he's double covered, they're always going to try to get the ball to him, as they're doing on this play. Quarterback, Hunter, dropping back, faking the fullback, and hitting Raniger for a 22-yard gain for Alabama. On long yardage, obvious pass downs, Alabama will change their offensive set. The tight end will widen, the fullback will move over into the wingback slot, and the tailback moves over to become a normal halfback. from this set, they have an automatic that's been very good for them. If it is a pass down, the linebackers have a great tendency to rush. The fullback reads the linebacker, and if he is rushing, he'll brush him, but then break into the area vacated by the rushing linebacker. The quarterback also will key the linebacker. As he turns, if the linebacker's rushing, he'll simply lob the ball over to the fullback, and this play has picked up consistent yardage for Alabama. Let's take a look at it. Fullback drifts out as the linebacker rushes, and Gillaba is open, and he picks up extra yardage after hit. They like to throw to all of their backs. This is Morgan, the tailback, drifting into the flat. And he, too, is a tough man to bring down. This play is a two-point conversion. The fake, the pass to Gillaba, score. Tennessee fears the throwing of quarterback Hunter, number 12, and they fear the running of number 14, Kelley, perhaps a little more than his throwing. He's exceptionally dangerous on drop-back passes when he finds daylight to run the ball, and he executes the quarterback option to perfection. Down the line, if the end plays him, he will pitch the ball to the tailback. Should the end come across to protect for the pitch, he'll keep the ball, and he's picked up consistent yardage. Let's watch him first on a drop-back pass. Back fast into position. Daylight up the middle, and Kelley takes it. He's got good moves downfield, breaking past the linebacker, and then cutting inside the halfback. This is the option play coming up. The end plays it flat-footed. He breaks inside the end, outruns the linebacker, and moves Alabama to scoring position. Every sound offensive football team must be able to hit inside to keep the defense honest. And Alabama does this well. Their fullback, number 32, Gillaba, has great strength, as does number 42, Moore, the tailback. Let's watch Gillaba on the quick off-tackle slant. Hand off, and he powers forward to pick up first down, Alabama. This is Moore, moving off-tackle to the opposite side, and you can see that he has great move downfield and is a remarkably determined runner. The sprint-out draw play to Moore has kept the defense honest.
We'll be back to discuss the keys to victory right after this message.
Money problems sure can keep a guy awake. I make pretty good money, but that dentist bill, there goes the money to fix the car. But it really isn't safe for Betty to drive. And the kids still need new clothes. What was it Jim Brooks told me about commercial credit? They make personal loans to help people with problems like this. He got a loan to get his boys started in college. No trouble at all. Real friendly people, he said. Rolled out the red carpet for him.
What's wrong, honey?
Nothing. Not now.
Need money? Come and get it at Commercial Credit. Our affiliates also help you finance automobiles, boats, appliances, mobile homes, and farm equipment through more than 10,000 dealers across the country.
Well, Bud, this is the ball game, I guess, of all ball games for these two teams. Their history goes back to 1901, and where do you see the keys to victory today?
Well, both of these teams are so well balanced. They're so well coached. They're so solid in everything that they do that it's very difficult to pick out one thing and say that's going to be it. But I would say that the Tennessee offense has been a little more consistent, and therefore the pressure is going to be on the Alabama defense. If Alabama's defense can hold up, and not only their defense against the Tennessee offense, but also the defense against the Tennessee kicking. Last week, Weaver, the Tennessee punter, kicked 9 times for an average of 47 yards, which is almost unbelievable. But if Alabama's kicking game defense holds up, as well as their defense against the normal operation on offense, they'll be very much in the ball game.
This is the 41st meeting between these two football teams. And from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, this has been College Football Today. This is Keith Jackson along with Bud Wilkinson, inviting you to stay tuned now for NCAA college football. Today's game featuring the Crimson Tide of Alabama versus the Tennessee Volunteers.
Stars in the Sunday night movie on ABC.
Half a minute on this, Jim?
NCAA college football. In today's game, the Crimson Tide of the University of Alabama meet the Volunteers of the University of Tennessee. This ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet introduces 1969 with 35 new car models, including the Super Sports in your Chevrolet dealer's sports department. By Smith Corona, America's #1 portable typewriter. By Camel cigarettes, with real tobacco taste that makes smokers say, I'd walk a mile for a Camel. And by Sunoco and your nearby Sunoco dealer. When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
From General Robert Neyland Stadium at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, nearly 63,000 people in the bright, warm autumn sunshine to watch the 41st football game between the Tennessee Volunteers, coached by Doug Dickey, and the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, coached by Bear Bryant. How do you do, everybody? I'm Keith Jackson, and I'll be calling the play this afternoon, just before going back to Mexico City for the Olympic Games, as we continue our coverage of the Olympics on ABC television. And it's my pleasure again today to introduce and work with Bud Wilkinson. And, Bud, this is a ball game where the legends run awfully deep.
I think the tradition is perhaps the feature that makes college football its greatest appeal. And today you not only have two teams that have been playing since 1901, but you have two of the great names in football coaching. Bear Bryant has been around a long time and has been one of the great coaches of the last 25 years. Doug Dickey, in his 5th year as a head coach at Tennessee, is establishing the same type of enviable record. So we've got two of the best with two very fine teams going against each other in a game that can go a long way to deciding the Southeastern Conference Championship.
The Crimson Tide have won 3 games. They have lost 1. The University of Tennessee Volunteers have tied 1, and they have won 3. Our pregame activities have been concluded, and we'll be back for the opening kickoff here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee.
More writers choose Smith Corona than any other portable. They like our office typewriter features. More homemakers choose Smith Corona. They like our style. More students, too. Maybe it's our extra keys for foreign accents. In fact, more people buy Smith Corona than any other portable in the world. There must be a reason. There are. Smith Corona introduces the perfect home adding machine. It adds, subtracts, multiplies electrically in seconds. Perfect for tallying the day's receipts, figuring out the household budget, doing your income tax. The Smith Corona electric adding machine, completely portable, less than $90.
On the artificial turf, if you like it that way, but nonetheless an artificial surface on the field here at the University of Tennessee, Neyland Stadium. Jim Duke will kick off for the University of Alabama, wearing the white uniforms. Lanny Pierce and Richmond Flowers, the deep men for Tennessee. And the ball game is underway, and it's a very short kick. Comes down on the 22-yard line. And the Tennessee Vols move the football back to the 37-yard line. Benny Dalton returning it, a defensive back. And the Vols will go to work. 1st and 10 on their own 37.
Tennessee's basic offensive formation has a split end, a wing back, an I formation, and then a tight side. They put the wing back in 3 different positions to give them the variations, and the entire team flip-flops. Alabama basically is a 5-2 rover defense, but they've got a great number of changes in the defensive alignment.
Bubba White is the quarterback. The fullback is Pickens. The tailback is Flowers. White wants to throw it, tucks it in. He's across the 40. He's out to the 47. He picked up about 10 yards on the play. Mike Ford coming up to make the tackle for Alabama.
Fine opening call by White. The king of the Alabama team certainly has to be against the inside threat of Pickens and the wide threat of Flowers. It was the bootleg fake to the wide field. He had lots of room to run as he turned up behind the guards.
Bubba White's number 18. Pickens and Flowers set behind him. Kenny DeLong is the tight end on the right side. McLean outside is the wing back. It goes to Flowers, the tailback. Great line blocking. Cross midfield. He's down to the Alabama 46-yard line. Tommy Wade, who may go both ways today for Alabama, coming from the defensive secondary to make the play. The ball is just short of the Alabama 45-yard line. A play starting at the Tennessee 48, let's call it. They've got to go down to about the 42-yard line in Alabama territory to get their first down. So they need 2nd down and 3. And Lester McLean is wide to the left side at the wingback position. White gives it away to the fullback inside, Richard Pickens, and he got himself a greeting from one of the Volunteers.
Unusual play. Usually you fake to the first man, give to the second man. On that play, the original fake was to Pickens, and he also got the ball. Alabama ignored the second fake, and they really met Pickens at that line of scrimmage.
The man doing the job was Mike Hall. So the ball is just over the 45-yard line as Pickens picked up a yard on the play. It is 3rd down and 2 for Tennessee at the Alabama 45. McLean wide to the left, and Bill Baker wide to the right. And Bubba White rolling up. He has a man, but he tucks it in, tries for his first down. He is caught from behind by Mike Ford on a fine defensive play, but I think Bubba White's picked up his first down.
The play that you just saw is the basic play of the Tennessee attack. White with one receiver out and the rest of the team blocking for him on the option to pass run. That time, of course, the receiver was covered, but he had lots of room as he turned the corner.
At the Alabama 41, Tennessee, 1st and 10. Inside it goes to Richmond Flowers, the tailback. And actually, Rich is just learning to run the football in traffic. This is the first time he has ever had the opportunity to carry the ball in collegiate competition, where the going gets a little tough. But Doug Dickey, the coach of the Volunteers, satisfied with the way things have been going. Mike Hall on the tackle for Alabama. The advance of the ball is about 2 yards. Call it 2nd down and 8, just short of the Alabama 38. The Volunteers in the home orange jerseys. Bubba White at quarter, Bill Baker wide to the left, and White's back to throw. Under pressure, gets it away to Pickens, the fullback. Got a screen going. It's working. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. He's inside the 10. He is down on the 7-yard line. Mike Ford on the tackle for Alabama, and he was the last man that really had a chance to get Pickens.
Great defensive play by Ford. Let's take a look at it. Isolated camera. You can see Pickens there picking up the screen pass, and then great downfield blocking by Tennessee. That's Flowers downfield ahead of him, and they're now in scoring position.
A 24-yard pickup on the play. The Tennessee off the I. 1st and goal on the Alabama 7 White. That's back to Flowers. One block. Runs away from one man, but the second man trailing the play, Mike Hall. Gets him, and Mike Hall now in Tennessee's move down inside the 5-yard line has made 4 tackles.
Alabama has been one of the tough goal line defense teams in college football. They play from the 6-5. They're willing to gamble with you on whether you're going to run the ball or throw the ball. That time they guessed properly.
Second down and goal to go for Tennessee. The nose of the ball just a little short of the 5-yard line. Richmond Flowers. He is down to the 2-yard line. Again, it is Mike Hall, and that fellow starting out with a pretty good day's work already.
Great offensive blocking that time by the middle of the Tennessee line. Chip Kelley at center, Rosenfeller and Dembo. They really moved them out of there. Flowers followed Pickens and got the extra block of the fullback leading.
And I might say that the big tackle, Jerry Holloway, doing quite a job in there, opening the hole for the swift Tennessee backs to run through. Volunteers are undefeated at a 17-17 tie with Georgia. They have it third down and goal to go. It's Flowers. He dives. He is short of the goal line. He is short by about a foot. Danny Gilbert, the Rover, and Mike Ford making the defensive play for the Alabama Crimson Tide. It is fourth down and goal to go. And the ball cannot be more than a foot away from the goal line. McLean is wide to the right for Tennessee. Pickens and Flowers set. It is Flowers! Touchdown! Don Denbo was the man who opened the hole for Richmond Flowers' plunge over the goal line, and Tennessee has moved in for the touchdown at 9 minutes and 47 seconds of the first quarter. 10 plays, moving it from their own 38-yard line, 62 yards for the touchdown. Carl Crimser now will try the point out of Bubba White's hole. Carl Crimser, a high jumper, kicks it soccer style, drills it straight through. And with timeout here at Leyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, the score is Tennessee 7, Alabama nothing.
This is Camaro, 1969. Who has to bother with words like announcing or new or better, when this year the hugger has a look that speaks fluent Italian? Say arrivederci to the other sportsters. This is what the younger generation is coming to. Ask the kid who owns one. Chevrolet introduces 1969.
Tennessee leading 7-0, first quarter. Carl Crimser will kick off. Donnie Sutton, Tommy Wade, deep for Alabama. Voss took it from the kickoff, marched it in for the touchdown. High, deep kick. It goes to Sutton at the 2-yard line. He's to the 23. There the orange shirts get him. First down, Tennessee at their own, Alabama rather, at their own 23-yard line. And it was Jeff Gorin in the orange colors of Tennessee making the tackle. Now let's check the backfield for the University of Alabama. Scott Hunter will be at quarterback. He is number 12. He is considered one of the best young passers they have had at Alabama since the days of Joe Namath. Pete Gilliba is the fullback, and Ed Morgan is the tailback. Donnie Sutton is out on the wing. The ball is handed off inside to the fullback, Pete Gilliba, and the orange shirts jump all over him.
Alabama's basic offensive set has two wide men, the end and the halfback. They'll vary the offensive set with the remaining backs from an I formation to a split set. Tennessee defensively is in the familiar 5-2 monster pattern all of the time. Their monster man being Showalter, one of the great players in college football.
They give it away inside to Gillaba, the fullback, and this time Gillaba on the 2nd down and 9 play gets it out to about the 29-yard line before Jim Woody brings him down for Tennessee.
The monster man for Tennessee usually is to the wide field. You'll see him this time as they break the huddle, moving to the bottom of your screen. They will slant the remaining 5 linemen away from the monster man much of the time to balance up the defense. Here comes Showalter to the wide field.
And if you folks in Alabama are a little confused and looking for Danny Ford, he is the tight end. As the pass is thrown complete to Donnie Sutton, and he's to the 35-yard line. And that will be enough for a first down. A pickup of 7 yards out to the 36. Nick Showalter on the tackle of Sutton. Number 23, Donnie Sutton, makes the grab from Scott Hunter. Joe Kelley, I understand, has a broken toe. He's hobbled a little bit.
He's an excellent running quarterback, but a broken toe isn't serious, but it's very painful. It slows you up when you're trying to run the ball.
First down 10, Alabama. Their own 36-yard line. Ball dropped by the quarterback Hunter as he went with a fake to the fullback Gillaba, but he recovers and picks up a couple of yards. I think another thing that comes into play here, Bud, and knowing Bear Bryant's operation at the University of Alabama, he knows a little bit about everything about Tennessee. And Tennessee is one of the toughest teams in the country to move the ball on the ground against. So we'll see quite a bit of air work, I'm sure.
Well, the slants and the stunts make it difficult to develop a consistent running attack. Every now and then they give you the bad play.
That's Hunter on the option. Keeps, turns inside, and he goes out to the 42-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 3 yards, and it'll bring up for the Alabama Crimson Tide 3rd down. They've got to go to very close to the 46-yard line to get the first down. So it's 3rd down and about 3. That is Sutton, number 23, going wide to the right, and George Raniger, wide to the left, and Hunter back to throw. Loops it over to the fullback, Gillaba. 2 volunteers after him, and they have got him at the 41-yard line, short of the first down. Jim McDonald and Tim Priest on the tackle, and they had that play smelled out pretty well.
As the ball was thrown, it certainly looked like Gillaba had enough running room to pick up the first down, but that great pursuit got to him for no gain.
Into punt now for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Frank Mann averaging just under 40 yards per kick. Deep for Tennessee, the lone man is Bill Baker. It is a short kick, and Baker calls a fair catch for the Vols at their own 22.
He was rather late signaling for that fair catch.
ABC and the NCAA combine to bring you all the thrills of college football. We have a timeout. The score, Tennessee 7, Alabama nothing. And now we return you to our studios for this message.
This little demonstration is strictly for smokers who've never tasted a Camel cigarette. Camel smokers, you know what we mean.
I'd walk a mile for a Camel.
You other guys, start walking.
The acid test. Watch us dramatize how Prestone gives your car extra protection against corrosion. Half of this metal gets coated with magnetic film in Prestone antifreeze, and half goes into antifreeze with ordinary corrosion inhibitors. Into hot acid, one is destroyed in seconds. Look at magnetic film's extra protection. Remember,
never pick up a stranger, pick up Prestone antifreeze.
Products of Union Carbide.
We have 6 minutes and 32 seconds left to play in the first quarter of our ball game here in Knoxville, Tennessee today between the white-clad Alabama Crimson Tide and the Volunteers of Tennessee. Tennessee taking the opening kickoff and marching 62 yards for the touchdown in 10 plays. This is their second offensive series. Bubba Whites remains in at quarterback with Pickens and Richmond Flowers set behind him. He gives it away to his fullback, Richard Pickens, and this time the Tide really jumps on him back inside the 20. Let's see where they mark the ball. Sammy Gellerstedt was the man who led the play for Alabama, and the ball is at the 20.
On Tennessee's first drive, they seem to have the proper play called against the move of the Alabama defense 10 successive times. The percentages run out on you after a while, as they did on the last play.
Well, actually, the ball is nearer the 19, a loss of 3 yards. Second down and 13 for Tennessee. Again, the handoff goes to the fullback Pickens. This time he gets back to the original line of scrimmage of the 22. So we've got 3rd down and 10 coming up.
He was met with a very good tackle by Childs that time, but Doug Dickey says that Pickens is one of the strongest runners that he's ever coached. He's got great strength in his arms, shoulders, and his legs, and he's able to pick up that extra yardage after he's hit.
3rd down and about 10 yards to go for Tennessee. They lead 7-0, and it's Bill Baker wide to the left side. McLean comes wide to the right. We look at Bubba White calling signals, and he looks to throw the ball. He's got to get rid of it in a hurry. He does. He delivers it inside to Kenny DeLong. He's tied in, and Kenny is out to the 26. That's short of the 1st down. It's 4th coming up.
Kenny DeLong has been one of the leading receivers for Tennessee from his tight end position, as we noted in the pregame show. Let's take a look at it at an isolated camera. You can see him faking the block and then cutting back over the middle, but you can also see that Alabama is looking for DeLong, even though he does fake.
Now we see Tennessee in punt formation, and Bud, as you pointed out, this fellow Herman Weaver, who does the punting, has got to be a factor in the game. He is averaging over 44 yards a kick, and he hangs it a mile high. Not too long, a fumble! Tennessee! There's the value of a great kicker that can hang the ball up there. They had great coverage. He fumbled the football. The ball was in the air, 6.2 seconds. So the defender was there waiting for the ball to come down. The Alabama man, Donnie Sutton, dropped it, and Tennessee recovered the football, but hold on. There was a penalty flag on the far side of the field, and back we come.
Believe me, that is a big, big break for Alabama. When I was coaching, and I think it's a normal thing among coaches, you feel that from the time the ball is snapped, if the kicker can hang it in the air for 4.5 seconds, you have a good kick. So we just had the normal record broken by almost 33%. You used to talk about Olympic records.
But I've seen so many records in the last 10 days, I tell you. It's amazing what the athletes of today can do. The call, of course, was against the Tennessee Volunteers. It moves the football back to the 12-yard line. It was a holding call against Tennessee, and this time Herman Weaver will have to stand in his end zone. He'll hit it from about the 1 or 2 yard line. Bama put the pressure on, but he hangs it again. It takes an Alabama bounce, and it is put down on the Tennessee 42-yard line. So the Crimson Tide, putting the pressure on Herman Weaver, get good field position for their 2nd offensive series. We have a timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Our score, Tennessee 7, Alabama nothing.
They're moving, they're moving. People in the know. They're moving to Sunoco, moving to Sunoco.
Honey, what's that gadget on the pump?
That gadget's Sunoco's clean fuel filter. Keeps the dirt particles out of our engine.
Really works, too. Filters gasoline clean as the water you drink. You know, this filter traps particles so small you can't even see them.
That gadget gives us the cleanest gasoline in town.
No more clogged fuel lines, just smooth power.
People in the know. They're moving to Sunoco, moving to Sunoco.
When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
We have new personnel in the lineup now for Alabama in the backfield. At flanker back will be Griff Langston, number 24. The fullback will be Phil Chapin, and the tailback will be Pete Moore as the Tide starts to work from the 41.
You talk in terms of errors usually being pass interceptions, fumbles, assignment mistakes, but penalties are among the great errors. That 15-yard penalty actually cost Tennessee close to 30 yards plus the ball.
Scott Hunter, the quarterback for the Tide, flips the ball out to his trailing fullback, Phil Chapin, and he goes inside the 40 to close to the 38-yard line.
The play that you just saw has been called the Houston option. The quarterback was down the line of scrimmage, and if it appears that the tackle is playing the handoff man, he'll keep it as he did that time. If it appears that the tackle is playing to the outside, he'll give it to the handoff man. However, that time the lateral movement of the Tennessee team was adequate to cover both fakes.
Hunter, here this time, and he doesn't find much room, maybe a yard. Dick Williams, the captain of the Vols, coming from the bottom to get him. 3rd down and 7 coming up for Alabama at the Tennessee 37.
If you like to watch linebacker play, number 57 for Tennessee, Steve Kiner, is considered one of the great linebackers in the history of Tennessee football and one of the great linebackers in college football this year.
Hunter to throw. Gets it away. Has a man. It is complete to the Lone Ranger, George Reniger. Fumbled the ball, but the play had been whistled out. That's enough for a first down for Alabama.
And if you hear the crowd reaction, there's no doubt about where the game is being played.
That's right. Down on the 26-yard line. First down, Alabama. The 10 universities.
Let's take a look at Reniger starting down the field here. Just a little inside break. He's up in the air to make a fine catch, but he couldn't quite put the ball away. The referee ruled that he was on the ground before he lost control.
Reniger wide to the right. The home folks at Knoxville getting after him a little bit. The ball is handed away to the Alabama fullback, or the tailback it is, Pete Moore. And Moore on the power play over the left side of the line. Drives his way down to the 24. A pickup of 2 yards.
Alabama has been throwing on 3rd down. They come in now to a 2nd and 8 situation. It's about time perhaps they might change the pattern.
Donnie Sutton back in at the flanker-back position for the Tide, with Griff Langston going out. Quarterback Hunter still got it. And he takes the pads inside the 20, down at the 17-yard line. That'll be a yard shy of the first down. Mike Jones coming from the deep secondary to make the tackle.
Let's watch Hunter again, ground level, slow motion. You can see him now as he fakes the handoff and keeps the ball. He saw that the defensive tackle there, the end was dropped off, had closed to the inside, and he simply turns on the speed until he meets the halfback at the sideline.
They go back to the tailback, and Moore dives at the right side, trying for the first down on 3rd and 1. Let's have a look. Going to be short. He's about foot and a half short of the first down. Reynolds and McMeans, the defensive play for Tennessee. And back in the ball game at fullback comes Pete Gilliba. He's from Madison, New Jersey. He's a junior. 6-footer, 208 pounds. He just may get the call right here. He does. No, it's the tailback Moore. As he faked to the first man, gave to the second man, and the dive over the middle is good for the first down for Alabama on the Tennessee 15-yard line.
He faked to the fullback. Will have the defensive linebacker close at him, and then he turns out to be another blocker as the ball goes to the tailback. Good play on short yardage.
Tennessee and Alabama now with 3 first downs apiece. The Tide started on their 41-yard line. Bobby Slucker now is in at split end. Hunter roll it out. Good protection. The ball batted into the air, and it is incomplete. It was Swafford in the end zone, and the pass was a little late, but
he was very well covered. Hunter couldn't quite decide whether to run with the ball or throw it. When he finally decided to throw it, the defender were in good position. You can see Reniger there, a little inside break, outside break, and as you pointed out, Keith, the ball was a little late, and he was scissored as the ball came to him.
George Reniger, number 88, that was. They split in. Hunter, tailback. Moore, not much.
I am very impressed, Keith, with number 14 for Tennessee, Young, filling from his safety position. He's up there playing almost like a linebacker on running plays.
It is 3rd down. And a long 7 yards for Tennessee. The ball is right about 13 yards for Alabama on the Tennessee 13-yard line. Gilliba is the fullback, and Pete Moore the tailback as Hunter comes to throw. Throws to Sutton. The ball is knocked loose on a fine defensive play by Neil McMeans. So the pass drops incomplete. It is 4th down and a long 7 yards to go.
Gillaba was in a slot back position. They had 4 receivers ready to break very, very quickly. Gillaba appeared to be open through the posts, but the pass was thrown to the crossing man.
Mike Dean in the ball game will try a field goal. He hits it from the 18-yard line. It is up. It is good. A 28-yard field goal puts Alabama on the scoreboard. And at about 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter, as the Alabama Crimson Tide march down the field from the 41-yard line to score the field goal. 8 plays. And it's a 7-3 ball game, as the Tide wearing the white uniforms will kick off now to Tennessee. Jim Duke, number 76. He's a tackle. Kicking off. Deep men for Tennessee, Pierce and Flowers. High. It is taken by Pierce, and Pierce brings it back to the Tennessee 26, 27-yard line, and there the Volunteers will get ready to go to work. There's just a second left to go in the first quarter, with Tennessee leading 7-3. Alabama, loser of 1 ball game. Tennessee has only a tie with the Georgia Bulldogs in their opening game to mar their record. Bubba White is the quarterback. Pickens at full. Flowers the tail. White's with it. Wants to throw. Swings it out here to Richmond Flowers. 1-on-1. And Richards across the 29 up to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 3.5, 4 yards. And
from ground level in slow motion, you see White's faking, swinging out. Flowers from his tailback position bobbles the ball momentarily, then pulls it in again. But that little bobble while the ball was up in the air slowed his speed down just enough for the pursuit to be over there with him.
And at the end of the first quarter, here in Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, our score reads Tennessee 7, Alabama 3.
Why don't you join the country club? Why don't you join the country club? Why don't you join the country club? Pan Am can fly you to over 80 countries from one end of the world to the other. Big countries, small countries, old countries, new countries. And it doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or where you're going. The world's most experienced airline has room for everybody under the sun.
Ready for the start of the second quarter, with Tennessee leading Alabama 7-3.
Statistically, the first quarter is quite close. Tennessee 32 yards rushing, 40 passing. Alabama 29 and 15. First downs 3 and 3.
Second down, a long 5 to Tennessee at the 31-yard line as White turns and throws. Intended for Flowers, and it was almost picked off by Alabama's Tommy Wade.
Wade took his eye off the ball to go up and be sure that he had the receiver tackled. Had he kept his eye on the ball, it would have been 6 points, Alabama. Looking at these statistics, one significant statistic is that was the first incomplete pass for Tennessee. In the first quarter, Weiss was 3 and 3.
Third down, still a long 5. That was Mike Dean on that last play for the Alabama Crimson Tide as Bubba White goes back to throw, looks at the long, throws to the short man instead. And Richard Pickens carries to about the 34, 35-yard line, which will be short of the first down. Danny Gilbert, the rover man, on the tackle for Alabama.
Watch it again, isolated camera. You can see DeLong starting his block, and then the pass out, and that super pursuit by the Alabama team. They'll put the pressure on Weaver, the punter, this time. Watch the number of men that Alabama rushes. They've got 10 of them on the line of scrimmage.
Tommy Wade deep. Weaver gets it away. Well, he really hangs it. Wade up. Fair catch call, 31-yard line. Alabama has the ball. Penalty flag on the field. Looks like the call may go against the Tide. 34-yard kick.
Alabama substituting Cole, number 33, to put extra pressure on the rush. They didn't quite get the substitution completed. One of the men in the confusion of moving up was across the line of scrimmage as the ball was snapped.
Don't forget, immediately following ABC's Wide World of Sports this afternoon, we'll return to Mexico City for further coverage of the 19th Summer Olympic Games. Be sure to be with us throughout the week for all the excitement and much of it live from Mexico City. It is Tennessee's ball on the 5-yard assessment against Alabama. 1st and 10. Call it the 40-yard line. The backfield, White. Setbacks, Flowers and Pickens. That's Flowers. And the great hurdler is out near the 48-yard line. Mike Hall made the tackle. Pick up, call it 8. Make it 2nd and 2 for Tennessee.
Excellent blocking that time by the tight side of the Tennessee line. They folded the tackle up, knocked the end out, were able to turn up the field with 2 men leading Flowers.
The wingback for the Vols, number 20, Bill Baker. Tailback is Richmond Flowers. Fullback Richard Pickens. Gary Chris wide to the left now. In at the split-end position. White. He paid the price for that moment of delay as the white shirts in barreling through.
Power I formation. With short yardage, they had 1 receiver out. Let's take a look at it again from ground level in slow motion. You can see White's turning, making the fake. All 3 backs stayed in. The flanker was downfield, McLean, but when there is no time to throw, the quarterback can't do a thing but eat it, as Weiss is doing here.
3rd down, 13. Ball back near the 37-yard line for Tennessee. Got a screen. That's Pickens. Oh, what a great defensive play. Number 61 and number 54, Gellerstedt and Hall, knocked the blocking down on the screen and made the play back on the 33-yard line.
Mike just seemed to drift through the blockers there. Weiss dropping back. Pass to Pickens, and you could see Hall as he came through. Great defensive play.
Herman Weaver, punt formation on 4th down, 15. Kick is away. It's a short kick, but he turns it over and knocks it out of bounds. So the great pressure that Alabama had planned to put on Weaver may pay off as they force him into a high, short punt. Only 24 yards, and this fella had been averaging 44 coming into the game.
He kicked 27 yards on his first punt, so that 10-man rush that Alabama is using thus far certainly is breaking down the timing that Weaver would like to use as he tries to put his foot into the ball.
1st and 10 for Alabama. Mark at the 43-yard line. Griff Langston in the backfield. Scott Hunter is the quarterback. He gives it away to the first man, fullback Pete Gilliba. He's out to about the 45. A 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Reynolds and Woody in the middle of the Tennessee line made the play. Beautiful day. It rained here in Knoxville, as it has throughout much of the southeastern part of the country the last couple of days, compliments of Hurricane Gladys. But it couldn't be a nicer day today. Of course, there's no mud. We're playing on that curtain surface. 2nd down and 8. Hunter gives it away to the tailback, and it's Ed Morgan ramming the ball out to about the 49 before Reynolds gets it.
Kramer, the center, had made a good block, but he couldn't quite hold it long enough. He went to the ground. Recovery made the tackle for a rather short gain.
It'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for Alabama. Langston, the man flanked out of the picture. Fumble on snap from the center. Alabama retains possession. On the ball, number 68 for Alabama, Alvin Samples, the strong guard.
And when you're coaching, that just drives you right out of your mind because that's something that is never supposed to happen. In a T formation, you assume that the exchange between the center and the quarterback will be what we call automatic.
Frank Mann punting. Bill Baker deep for Tennessee. Good snap to Frank. Big rush on. And it's a very short kick. High but short. And it takes a Tennessee bounce. And Alabama finally touches it down on the right out near the 40-yard line. It's a 14-yard punt. So Tennessee has it 1st and 10 at the 40. College football observing its 100th year. With our timeout, our scoreboard reads Tennessee 7, Alabama 3.
Anticipation. That's the secret. Keep anticipating your opponent's next move and you'll win every time. In any game. Take your situation right now, for example. Your wife is probably not overjoyed at the way you spend your afternoon, right? She's probably thinking, if he's going to watch football all afternoon, instead of taking me to Mother's, he's going to get cold stew for supper. You like cold stew? So anticipate. The next time she walks by, you say, forget about supper, honey. As soon as the game's over, I'm going out for Kentucky Fried Chicken. From a bum to a hero, just like that. And instead of getting cold stew, you get delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it's finger-licking good. And next week, she'll probably say, enjoy the game, honey, while I'm at Mother's, and on the way home, I'll pick up the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Right, Crazy Legs?
Who you call Crazy Legs?
Keep a happy home during football season. Colonel Sanders is anticipating your arrival at your nearby Kentucky Fried Chicken take-home.
So the kicking game that figured to be so vital in this particular ball game shows up real early with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half. Tennessee leading 7-3.
Great kickers, given time, have the rhythm that they want to use, but if you're pressured and you lose that timing, the kicks are short, which is what has happened to both teams thus far.
Bubba White's at quarter. That's Richmond Flowers. And the tailback muscles his way to the 47-yard line. That'll be a pickup of close to 7 yards.
Let's watch it again from ground level. Sweep coming towards you. Weiss pitching the ball back to Flowers. Fine block. Flowers turns upfield inside. Drives forward for the 8 yards.
Flowers 8 carries, 29 yards so far in the ball game. McLean wide to the right, top of the screen. First man, the fullback, Pickens. And Richard Pickens trying to slant to the left to get up around midfield and pick up the first down. Is held up a yard short of it. Gellerstedt on the tackle.
The Alabama defense going to the 4-3 or the 4-4 pattern is not nearly as good against the runs as when they're in their split six set as they were on the last down. They've got to guess when they're going to get the throw and when they're going to get the run, and if they are guessing properly, the defense is holding up.
Third down, about a yard and a half to go for Tennessee. The ball at their own 48-yard line. They lead 7-3 here in the second quarter. And Flowers, the tailback, trying for the first down. He's close to it. But pulling his way in under the pile was number 65 for Alabama. That is Mike Riley with help from Sammy Gellerstedt. And it's just enough for the first down, as you see.
Gellerstedt is rather a small man as college defensive linemen go. He's 5'8", 190. But Bear Bryant says he's one of the quickest men that he's ever coached. Number 61.
McLean way wide to the left. They haven't gone to him yet today, but he's sitting out there. He's at the ready. The pitch is back to Flowers. Pickens blocking for him. Gets one man. Second man gets Flowers, however, as he reaches the Alabama 46-yard line. Jim Duke from Columbus, Georgia, made the tackle. To help celebrate college football's 100th season, several hundred NCAA member schools are electing campus queens. The 14 finalists will be shown on national television later this season, and the college football centennial queen will be crowned at the East-West Shrine game in San Francisco on the 28th of December, a game that you will see this year on ABC television.
A little mix-up in the offensive backfield. Not wanting to waste the play, Bubba White called timeout to be certain that the signals would be properly executed by his team, and during the timeout, he's coming over to talk to Coach Doug Dickey.
College football, a great way to spend an autumn afternoon. With our timeout, our score, Tennessee 7, Alabama 3.
How well have you protected your family's assets against a really high court judgment and expensive legal fees? INA, Insurance Company of North America, has created a policy that gives you and your family $1 million worth of liability protection. Protection that starts where your basic insurance policies stop. INA's $1 million protection policy costs the average family only about $70 a year. Isn't that a small price to pay for peace of mind? You can get INA's $1 million protection policy from your local INA agent. He's in the yellow pages. When insurance comes from imagination, it comes to you from INA and your INA agent.
This is Keith Jackson along with Bud Wilkinson as ABC Television brings you collegiate football today from Neyland Stadium, University of Tennessee. Tennessee has the ball. Second down, 6 yards to... The first play of the fourth quarter. Alabama first and 10 at the Tennessee 34. Swing pass to the wingback, Donnie Sutton. Knocked down by Jim Weatherford. The advance is down to the 31, 3 yards.
Into the third quarter statistics, Tennessee 50 plays against 49 for Alabama. Tennessee 142 yards gained against 164. The big difference, Alabama has completed 3 of 4 passes in the second half.
Tennessee scored in the first quarter. Alabama a field goal in the second quarter. They give it away to the fullback, Pete Gilliba, and I mean there is no room. Neil McMeans led the tacklers for Tennessee. Loss is back to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for Alabama on the Tennessee 32.
And this is the biggest play of the game coming up. Alabama wants to be sure that they've got the right call. Hunter moving over to talk to Coach Bryant on the critical 3rd and 8 situation. Timeout, Alabama.
We mentioned a moment ago the expenditures for the United States Olympic Committee in training, transporting, housing, and equipping our Olympic team that is now competing in Mexico City has been enormous. We ask your help in defraying some of the costs. A $5 tax-deductible contribution for a handsome gift. The U.S. Olympic Committee will send you a beautiful 6-color American Shifley embroidered patch for your blazer or sports jacket. To get your patch, send a check for $5 to the United States Olympic Committee, Box 1000, Mount Vernon, New York, 10551.
From the discussion on the sidelines with quarterbacks Hunter and Kelley and Coach Bryant, I would say we're going to get a pass pattern run.
On 3rd down and 8 from the Tennessee 32, Scott Hunter, the quarterback for Alabama. Behind him, Pete Gilliba at full, Pete Moore at tailback, Donnie Sutton. There's Paul Bryant's record at Alabama, an incredible record. One of the great coaches in American collegiate football. Scott Hunter back. Here come the balls. They got him. Jack Reynolds, the man who did the job for Tennessee.
That's one of those situations where you say no one laid a glove on him. But he laid quite a glove on Scott Hunter.
Big Jack Reynolds. He's a 208-pounder. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio, and he made a big play. Frank Mann punting for Alabama. Ball is at the 41. Kicked from midfield. He's trying to hang it up, float it short. And it rolls across the field and down at about the 18.
And had it hit the Tennessee man on the ground, it could have been a very disastrous situation for Tennessee.
24-yard punt. That's right, that ball just trickling around. If it had bumped his foot or something, then Alabama could have grabbed it. We have a timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville with our score, Tennessee 7, Alabama 3.
They're moving. People in the know. They're moving to Sunoco.
Here's Roger Penske, golfer, racing driver, automotive expert. He moved to Sunoco for custom blending. He knows cars all have different octane needs, but at most stations he'd have to settle for one regular grade, one premium. Only Sunoco has 8 grades. Roger knows custom blending is like having gasoline blended especially for his car's octane needs. And he saves money.
Once I tried custom blending, nothing else was good enough.
People in the know. They're moving to Sunoco.
When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
The man in the white cap is Doug Dickey, the head football coach at the University of Tennessee. Came into today's ball game in his 5th season with a record of 32 wins, 11 losses, and 4 ties. He has guided Tennessee's football team to the bowl in 3 out of 4 years here at Knoxville.
And information coming from the press box.
Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10. Mark it at the 17-yard line. Vols lead Alabama 7-3. 13:20 to play in the game. That's Bubba White. And Bubba is out to the 26-yard line before Sammy Gellerstedt runs him down, the middle guard.
White's faking to Pickens, who stepped in, swinging out behind the guards. Flowers on the option pass run here appears to be open, but White thinks he sees more daylight upfield. He cuts inside as the linebacker moves out to cover Flowers. Picks up almost enough yardage for the first down.
Back to live action, 2nd down and 2 for Tennessee. As White's gained 8 yards, he goes to his fullback, Richard Pickens, and Pickens fights his way for the first down out to the 29-yard line. Norris Hamer on the tackle for Alabama.
Both of these teams play careful football, trying to avoid mistakes and waiting for the other team to give them a break. There's been 1 interception thus far, but no fumbles lost by either team, and except for the costly penalties to Tennessee in the first half, there have not been any big breaks.
First downs are even now, 10 and 10. From the 34, they go to Flowers, the tailback. From the 29, he's out to the 31. Richmond Flowers moving from the 29-yard line out to about the 31. Just over the 30. About a yard and a half pickup on the play. Clock is running, and even 12 minutes left to go in the game. Tennessee 7, Alabama 3. Vols have it. They send Lester McLean, the speedster, wide to the left. Here's White looking. He throws it out to Richmond Flowers. And Flowers is out of bounds at the 44-yard line. First down, Tennessee.
Watch it again in slow motion from ground level. To the left of your screen, Flowers had picked up in motion, which gave him that extra start against the linebacker who's moving out to cover him. A perfect throw by Weiss. Flowers pulls it in, and then as he starts downfield, he makes a great juke move to swing past Owen, the rover or monster man for Alabama.
First and 10 from the 44 down the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Bill Baker. He had Donnie Sutton beaten for a moment, but the ball was late getting there. So now Bubba White is 11 for 16, 11 for 17 for 76 yards. Donnie Sutton going both ways here this afternoon for Alabama.
And Dave Brown coming in to call the play for Tennessee.
2nd down 10 for the Vols at their own 44. White throws. DeLong, he's got it.
He was well covered that time. Hall and Owen had him almost sandwiched, but that ball was drilled perfectly between them.
Ball is on the Tennessee 46. They'll bring the change in to check and see if it is enough for the first down. 11 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the game. Tennessee opening kickoff right down in for the touchdown. First down. Vols have 12. Alabama 10 in first down. Remember, there will be more coverage of the 19th Summer Olympic Games from Mexico City later today on ABC television. Bill Bennington, our director, Joe Selley, our associate director, and myself back to Mexico City tonight. Right now, Alabama concerned as Tennessee is controlling the football. We have a penalty flag on the field as the handoff was to the fullback Pickens, hit right at the line of scrimmage. Childs and Gellerstedt making the defensive play for Alabama, and the call is against Tennessee.
And Bubba White shaking his head.
5 yards. Somebody moved too soon. There's the clock. You see the story. It's all right there.
I'm not sure that Bear Bryant was very pleased with the choice made there. At 2nd and 10, when you're behind at this stage in the game, giving them an extra down is a doubtful choice.
1st and 15. Ball back in Tennessee territory, just over the 50. Here's the pass. Incompleted forward pass, and the man streaking across was Wayne Owen. If he had picked it off, it would have been 6. But perhaps, Bud, I have the sneaking hunch that Bubba White saw him and saw he couldn't get the ball to his intended receiver and may have just thrown it away.
I would agree. He's got great peripheral vision, any fine passer does, and he had timed the move perfectly.
You can spend all the hours in the world preparing for a game, but the human factor is still the one that determines the final outcome. Those decisions made under that kind of pressure. Here's Bubba White back, throws. It is caught by Pickens, the fullback, caught right about the line of scrimmage.
Fine defensive play again by Mike Hall. That same screen pass was what set up the Tennessee touchdown.
Mike Hall's a 6-footer from Tarrant, Alabama. He's been busy today. There was actually a loss of a yard on the pass play. So it is now 3rd down and 16 for Tennessee. The ball at their own 49. White throws up the middle. He's got McLean. Lester McLean, who has not been used very much today, but in the pinch they go to him as he slanted into the middle, and he made the catch down at the 37-yard line. And White's now 13 for 21, 99 yards in his passing. Time called here by Tennessee. Excitement, color, tradition, you've got it every Saturday on NCAA college football. With a timeout, our score is Tennessee 7, Alabama 3.
There's a new look to the way America's growing by shiny ribbons of steel, the modern computerized railway. Railroads move what it takes to help America grow. Lumber for your home, steel for your car, coal for your electricity, for things you use every day. Lifted, hoisted, dumped, stacked, racked, piggybacked, containerized, classified. Delivered at lower cost, saving you money when you buy. Modern railroads, meeting transportation needs of constantly growing America. helping you live the kind of living you like. The American Railroads.
Row by the railway.
On fourth down and a little more than a yard to go, Tennessee has the ball on the Alabama, and it's just short of the 37-yard line. And on the field for Tennessee is Carl Crimser, the place kicker.
He's a soccer-style kicker who has lots of range.
He is 2 for 7 in field goals this season. He's kicked 11 out of 12 extra points.
And from this distance, even though he has the range, I'm sure defensively Alabama is thinking it might be a fake.
Bubba White's holding. It is down at the 44. He hits it. It's long. It's good. A 54-yard field goal. Carl Crimser, a high jumper, has just kicked the football 54 yards. He split the uprights, and Tennessee has taken a 10-3 lead over Alabama with 9 minutes and 52 seconds to play in the game. 54 yards.
You just can't quite realize that he had that kind of whip in that leg.
Well, he'll try to whip this one again, Bud, and knock it as deep as he can. With Tommy Wade and Donnie Sutton deep for Alabama. Here comes Carl Crimser. He got all of it. He got all of it. And it's out of the end zone. It'll be Alabama's ball. 1st and 10 at their own 20, and the Volunteers are up right now. We have 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the ball game. The momentum and control of the game belongs at the present time to Tennessee.
To get back in the game, Alabama must hit their passing attack. They've got to be more consistent than they have been thus far.
Scott Hunter is in the game. The sophomore from Pritchard, Alabama, at quarterback. The tailback is Ed Morgan. Hunter to throw. He whips it. He's got a man. It is complete to Griff Langston. Langston out of bounds, out on the 32. That's a first down for Bama. Weatherford the tackle. So Alabama continues to test Jim Weatherford. They have not had a great deal of success on that side of the field, but they're still throwing at him. At any time now, they're liable to come back the other way, and that's the way Langston goes now. Wide to the left. Hunter throws. It is caught by Raniger. It is dropped by Raniger. Incomplete. Steve Kiner, the man covering the Lone Ranger on that side of the field. Ball comes back to the 32. We're at 2nd down and 10 for Alabama.
Hunter was 4 of 15 in the first half. He's 5 of 7 in this half, so he is picking up consistency with his throws.
Shadows now creeping well out onto the field on a bright sunny afternoon in Knoxville, Tennessee. 9:37 to go in the game. Hunter back to throw. Gets it away. Reynolds almost got him. The pass is incomplete. It was intended for Danny Ford, the tight end. I have to say this in behalf of Scott Hunter, that he has taken a good deal of punishment from those Tennessee linebackers on that play. Just as the ball was released, Jack Reynolds really belted him, but he bounced right up. Donnie Sutton again wide to the left. As Hunter goes back to throw. Gets it off. Got a man deep. It is. Pass is underthrown and almost intercepted by Nick Showalter.
Had he had time to throw, Donnie Sutton was all alone.
Well, he's been throwing down that right side all day, and eventually you knew he had to come back to the other side of the field, and that was the play, but it was spoiled by the tremendous rush by the Tennessee frontline defenders. And now it is 4th down, and Frank Mann will have to punt. Bill Baker deep. He hits it from the 23. Good high kick. Baker drifting under it. Got a little room to run. And he brings it back to the 33-yard line. A 44-yard kick. And so Tennessee takes over the football, 1st and 10 at their own 33. This afternoon, following our NCAA football regional telecasts, ABC's Wide World of Sports take you to Tampa, Florida for the Tournament of Thrills Auto Daredevil Championship. Stunt drivers in competition like ramp-to-ramp leap, slide for life, the human battering ram. Also from Reno, Nevada, the 1968 National Air Races today on ABC's Wide World of Sports following the game. Tennessee's ball, 33-yard line, 1st down. Give it away to Pickens. And Richard Pickens runs out of a crowd and takes it to the 39-yard line. Gain of 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for Tennessee from the 39. And Bud notes here from Jerry Kapstein that since 1958, no team in the Southeastern Conference has beaten Alabama 2 years in a row. Tennessee did it in 56, 57, and 58. But not since then. Well, I would say that Tennessee's got a chance to repeat it. They lead 10-3 with 8:40 to go in the game. And the tailback, Richmond Flowers, penalty flag on the field. Play moves outside the 40, but hang on. They are talking to Alabama. Bubba White is eavesdropping. Again, an illegal procedure call. That moves it back to the 34-yard line, where it is 2nd down and 9 for Tennessee.
And Alabama thinking we cannot afford to let them make the 1st down because the clock is running 8:33. We must get it ourselves.
Richmond Flowers. Oh, look out! He was almost gone. Mike Dean was the man who got him.
Watch it again in slow motion. Flowers takes the handoff, breaks it back inside, finds running room, and then he turns on that speed. It looks for a moment like he'll make it into the open, but Mike Dean comes across and just barely gets the glove on him.
45-yard line, Alabama territory, as Richmond Flowers almost broke one. 21-yard scamper by Flowers. Alabama almost jumped, but no contact. They hand it off to Pickens, the fullback, and he's got a couple of yards down to about the 43.
And the long count being used by Bubba White, not only keeping the defensive charge a little bit slowed up of Alabama, but also eating up very precious seconds.
Richard Pickens today, 13 carries, 45 yards. 2nd down, about 8, coming up for Tennessee. Richmond Flowers, 17 carries today, 66 yards. White throws, Flowers can't hang on. Ball thrown behind him, incomplete. 3rd down, 8 coming up.
I've got to be thinking, if they don't make it on this down, will they try another field goal?
I'll tell you, that 3 points, that 54-yard field goal, has taken some of the pressure off. 7:23 to go in the game. 10-3, Tennessee leads. White on 3rd down. Wants to throw it, gonna run it. And Bubba is caught and dropped at the 39-yard line in Alabama territory by Sammy Gellerstedt, middle guard for the Tide, who is never very far out of the play. He's 5'8", weighs 196 pounds, comes from Montgomery, and he's been outstanding.
And we have Carl Kremser coming in again. He did it the last time for 54 yards, and he's got just about the same distance. This one will have to be 55, actually.
on 4th down and 3. And we have a timeout at Neyland Stadium here in Knoxville, Tennessee, with our score, Tennessee 10, Alabama 3.
These girls are nurses of a special kind, and they're getting ready for a special kind of party. It's one of the parties employees of INA, Insurance Company of North America, give each year for children of men who've been disabled by a critical illness or serious injury. The fathers of these children are being helped in many ways by an imaginative INA rehabilitation program called MEND, in which specially trained INA nurses play a vital part. The MEND program brings hope and encouragement to many who might otherwise feel resigned to a life of dependence and inactivity. The parties aren't part of the program, of course. They're just something extra INA employees wanted to do for the children. When insurance comes from imagination, it comes to you from INA and your local INA agent.
It is 4th down and 3 yards to go for Tennessee. Carl Crimser is in the ball game. He will attempt a field goal. He will hit it from the 45-yard line. If he is successful, it will be a 55-yard effort. He kicked one just a few minutes ago. 54 yards, which is a new Southeastern Conference field goal record. We'll watch it from the end zone. Bubba White's hold. It is not good. It is not good, off to the left. So Carl Crimser misses from 55 yards, but he had been successful earlier from 54 yards. The previous record in the Southeastern Conference for field goal distance held by George Shuford of Tennessee, 52 yards in 1961. But today, you have seen Carl Crimser put his name in the record book. Alabama holds and takes over, 1st and 10 on their own 20. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the game. Tennessee leads 10-3. Scott Hunter, the quarterback for Alabama. Back to throw. He has a man. It is caught by Donnie Sutton. Out at the 32-yard line, a 12-yard gain, 1st down, Alabama.
We have not had the throw as yet to the fullback drifting out of the backfield. He's been making the move. He doesn't appear to be too closely covered.
Hunter, 10 for 25, 89 yards, 6 of the 10 completions in the second half. Hunter back. Good protection. Throws, caught, dropped.
Very good defensive play by Weatherford. He made the contact just as the ball contacted the receiver. No way you can hold it.
Bobby Swafford was the intended receiver. Jim Weatherford was the man who laid the pads on him, as Bud mentioned. Reminder to stay tuned for college football today with Dave Martin. Following the game, we'll have scores and highlights from around the country, and there have been some stunning scores. Some more upsets today. Scott Hunter cannot get it away. He eats the football back at the 25 rather than risk an interception. Frank Yanessi and Ronnie Drummond, the two men who led the defensive play for Tennessee, and it was a big defensive play in this game with 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go.
The defensive secondary, playing man for man, had perfect coverage. We're getting a timeout from Alabama because this is the big play for them. Third, long yardage, 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining.
Ball on the 25-yard line will make it a third down. And 17 yards to go, and there is Bear Bryant wearing that checkered hat, talking to George Raniger and the quarterback, Scott Hunter. Don't forget, immediately following ABC's Wide World of Sports this afternoon, we'll return to Mexico City for further coverage of the 19th Summer Olympic Games. Be sure to be with us throughout next week for all the excitement and color. A great deal of it live from Mexico City with Chris Schenkel, Jim McKay, Bill Fleming, Howard Cosell. Some great expert commentators to give you insight into what's happening at Mexico City. And it may turn out to be the sports story of the year, the way they have been shattering World and Olympic Games records. And you're watching it exclusively in 1968 on ABC television. The conference having concluded on the sideline with Bear Bryant. This is Keith Jackson along with Bud Wilkinson here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, with nearly 63,000 people jamming the stadium on a perfect afternoon for football. 3rd down and 17 for Alabama.
And it appears we'll get a 4-man rush from Tennessee with double coverage on both wide men.
Hunter back. Will he go to Raniger? Looks, throws, Raniger can't hang on. Nick Showalter and Steve Kiner played it almost perfectly. Kiner putting the pressure, Showalter defending, and the pass was underthrown to Raniger. So it is 4th down and 17 for Alabama with Frank Mann to punt. Bill Baker deep for Tennessee. Low snap. Oh, the rush was on. It's a bad kick. It is Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10 on their 43-yard line. A kick of only 17 yards, and it was Jack Reynolds, the man who almost blocked it. And Bud Wilkinson, I know that Bear Bryant had mentioned to you he was concerned about his kicking game.
Great pressure that time by Tennessee. It's very difficult for the kicker when you get that fast a rush.
Tennessee leading 10-3, 5:53 to go in the game. Have the ball, 1st and 10 at their 43. Here comes Richmond Flowers. Mike Hall, the tackle for Alabama. Gain 2 yards, down to the 41. 2nd down 8 coming up.
Tennessee has been playing quite conservatively since they took the 10-3 lead. It doesn't appear that they're going to be able to move it with their conservative attack. If they want to put pressure on the Alabama defense, they'll have to go to the air.
White hands it off to Richmond Flowers, the tailback, into the middle, inside the 40. 38-yard line, 3 yards. Third down 6 coming for Tennessee. All right about the Alabama 38. You see the clock running. White for Flowers. Out of bounds. Maybe a yard down near the 36, which will give him 2 yards. Tommy Wade came across to shove him out of bounds. So that is short of the 1st down. And here comes Carl Kremser back into the game. He has kicked a 54-yard field goal here in the 4th quarter. He has missed a 55-yard effort.
You have to think that he's within range, even though he's putting that tee down on the 43.
It would be a 53-yard effort. He gets it away, but this one is not a good kick. He hooked it too much. It is short. Rolls around in the end zone.
Alabama, 11 men rush, no one back.
And the Tide will get it 1st and 10 at the 20. The NCAA congratulates its member colleges and fans who have set an all-time record. The 10 top attended college football games last Saturday drew a record total of 690,267 spectators, an average crowd of more than 69,000 per game. Scott Hunter back to throw. Gets it off. It is caught by Donnie Sutton, and miraculously he hangs on.
He was hilt.
Steve Kiner was the sledgehammer, but Sutton hung on. Ball is on the 33, 13 yards. 1st down, Alabama.
Let's watch it again on the isolated camera. Here he comes down the field on the inside break. He's hit, but Sutton holds on.
Griff Langston flanked out of the picture. Hunter over the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Donnie Sutton, the wingback. Defending on the play was Mike Jones.
Sutton appeared to have a stride on him, but the ball was thrown one stride short.
When you have a defender that close, you really have to rope it. And Scott Hunter didn't quite get enough on it.
The last 2 downs, Alabama has only had 2 receivers out, so that they have plenty of time to throw the ball, and their pass protection has held up a little bit better.
2nd down 10 from the 33 for Alabama. Hunter, a lot of time, fires. It is complete to Sutton again. And Sutton is out to the 47-yard line, and that will be another 1st down for Alabama. Mike Jones again on the play.
Sutton set, looking in to watch the snap of the ball. If he doesn't hear the signal, the crowd noise, little outside fake, the curl pattern to the inside, and he really put all of his arms around that ball, almost dropped it, but retrieved it. 1st down, Alabama.
Scott Hunter now 12 for 30 in passing, 111 yards. Here comes the 13th. He hopes. He loops it high upfield. It is incomplete. George Reniger caught it. Let's see, did he call it incomplete? He was standing on the sideline.
He was standing on the sidelines as he caught the ball. It was a high ball thrown. The Tennessee defender, Weatherford, overran it. Let's take a look at it again on isolated camera from the end zone. Here's Reniger coming down the field. He gets past the receiver, but as you could see, he had his foot on the sidelines as he caught the ball, so the pass is incomplete as he was out of bounds as he made the catch.
Doug Dickey and every member of the Tennessee football team just mopped their brow after that play. 2nd down. Hunter back. Over the middle. The tight end it is. Danny Ford. And it's complete to the Tennessee 36-yard line. That's a 1st down, Alabama. It's going to be one of those finishes, Bud.
Yes, it is. This is when you test the character, both the offense and the defense. When you start practice, you keep talking about the big ones will be won or lost in the 4th quarter, and that's what we're going through right now.
Donnie Sutton coming wide to the left. Scott Hunter gets his pass away. It is incomplete. Griff Langston, the wingback, number 24, wide to the right, came back. Frank Yancey had a hold of Scott Hunter, but the young sophomore stayed with it and got his pass away. 9 for 18, 92 yards in this half, the 2nd half.
And you can tell that he's improving under the game competition. He was 4 for 15 in the 1st half.
Reniger going wide to the right. Hunter on 2nd down and 10 from the Tennessee 36. Throws for Reniger. It is incomplete and almost intercepted by Jim Weatherford. Alabama has been aiming at Weatherford all day, and that time Jim almost got one.
Appears that Weatherford is swinging side to side with Reniger, who has been the #1 receiver of the Alabama team. Here's Reniger coming down the field, spinning, going back to the inside, and you could see that Weatherford had a hand on it, but he was a little bit off balance and couldn't get the other hand up to hold the ball.
Langston wide right, Sutton wide left. 3rd down 10, Alabama, Tennessee 36, going deep for Langston. Incomplete in the end zone. Weatherford again.
Beautiful coverage.
He's earned his letter this afternoon.
He certainly has. He certainly has. Watch the pattern being run here. Little inside fake. Langston being blanketed by Weatherford. Both men on the ball, but very fine defense.
It is 4th down and 10 for Alabama from the Tennessee 36-yard line. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the ball game. Scott Hunter throws over the middle, complete to Sutton. At the Tennessee 23-yard line, it's a 1st down, Alabama.
And he drilled it. That ball could not have been in the air more than about a 2/5 of a count. There wasn't time enough while the ball was in the air for the Tennessee defenders to move more than a step or two.
Clock running, 2:25 to go in the game. Tennessee leads 10-3.
Here he is breaking to the inside, being shoved by the linebacker. Stopping on the hook. And this ball really was drilled at him. You could see it come in there like that high, hard one.
Scott Hunter, who has come alive in the 2nd half, fires. It is incomplete, intended for Bobby Swafford. Who else but number 30, Jim Weatherford?
He is playing a magnificent defensive game at halfback.
Second down and 10 for white-clad Alabama. Hunter, 14 for 36 in the ball game, 139 yards. The clock tells you the story. The crowd, they are interested, yes.
And Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining.
Bobby Swafford, the wide man to the right side. Griff Langston to the left. Scott Hunter over the middle. Swafford, a great catch at the Tennessee 6.
And the sophomore looks like a senior on that one.
Bobby Swafford, a sophomore combination.
Let's watch it again. Swafford in flank position. Little outside look. And he went up in the air. And when you throw the ball that well, it's impossible for the defender.
Alabama 17 first downs, Tennessee 13 first downs. A minute and 56 seconds to play in the game. It is Tennessee 10 and Alabama 3. And we'd like to thank Athletic Director and Head Coach Bear Bryant, his staff, and Charlie Thornton, Sports Information Director at Alabama. And our appreciation to Coach Doug Dickey, his staff, George Woodruff, the Athletic Director, and Haywood Harris, the Sports Information Director here at Tennessee, for their cooperation and making this an exciting ball game and entertaining weekend for us as we watch collegiate football on ABC television. NCAA college football has been brought to you by the cars with the GM mark of excellence, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac, by INA, Insurance Company of North America, where imagination makes insurance more helpful to you.
Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining, and with 1:56 remaining on the clock, they should not have any trouble getting all 4 downs in. First and 10. Here we go.
A minute 56. The ball is on the Tennessee 7-yard line. First and goal, Alabama. The ball is handed off to Ed Morgan, the tailback, and he rips his way down to about the 4. Nick Showalter coming up out of the secondary to help out on the tackle made by Jack Reynolds. Well, the ball is just inside the 5 to make it a pickup of 2 yards. Second down and goal from the 5. It is Morgan again, the tailback, and this time the Tennessee defense, the wall of orange, rising up to meet him. And with a minute and 23 seconds to go in the ball game, Alabama takes time, and with the timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, a tight one. It is Tennessee 10 and Alabama 3.
Do you remember what it was like learning to write? It was one of the most awkward things you ever faced. But in time, you did learn. And it was a good way to communicate. Today in business, it isn't good enough. It isn't fast enough. So now it's time to learn something that is. At first, you'll feel awkward with dictation equipment. But with IBM equipment, you just talk over your mistakes. You'll be dictating letters 4 times faster than you're now writing them in about a week, which isn't bad, considering it took you 2 years of grade school to learn to write.
Alabama's ball, 3rd down and goal to go from just inside the 5-yard line. Here's Scott Hunter to throw, tries to get it away. The ball is loose, and it is an incompleted forward pass. Nick Showalter, number 44, made the big play for Tennessee.
The ruling on the play is always judgment by the referee. If he believes the hand has started forward, it is a forward pass. If the hand has not made any movement forward, it would have been called a fumble.
A minute and 17 seconds to go in the game. Tennessee 10, Alabama 3. The Tide would like to tie or have the chance to go ahead on the 2-point conversions. This is it. 4th down into the end zone. Touchdown! Donnie Sutton made an incredible catch.
I don't know how he did it.
were Tennessee volunteers all over him, but he caught it anyway.
And there was a Tennessee volunteer all over Hunter.
Yes, indeed. But Donnie Sutton, number 23, a pre-match student.
And do you go for one or for two? Do you try to win the conference championship, or do you play this one for a tie and hope to win it later in the year?
The score is 10-9.
And Alabama's going for broke.
They're going for the win. It's Joe Kelley throwing in the end zone. It is incomplete. Donnie Sutton was the man for whom the pass was intended, and listen to that Tennessee crowd.
This is the touchdown play coming up in slow motion. Sutton at wingback simply breaks into the corner, and Hunter is hit as he throws this ball, and you can see the two Tennessee defenders right with him, but he brought it down after a remarkably fine throw on the part of Hunter. Alabama moved it 80 yards to put themselves in position to tie or win. Then they failed on the two-point extra point attempt, and we're getting a good look here at the onside kick receiving formation of Tennessee with 9 men up within 20 yards of the ball. And we're going to probably get the onside kick attempt.
Vinny Salesi, the man who's trying the onside kick. Alabama dives for it. I think they've got it. I think they've got the ball. But let's hang on until they can unstack the crowd.
And at this point, you don't give up that ball, the referee gets to you. A remarkable thing. They've got one timeout remaining.
How in the world can a football coach keep all of his good common sense on the sidelines in a time like this?
You have a packed stadium, and everyone knew the onside kick was coming, and the onside kick worked.
Alabama has the ball, 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 47-yard line. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds to play in the game. Plenty of time. It's Tennessee 10, Alabama 9. Scott Hunter at quarterback for Alabama. Plenty of time. Throwing it deep. Donnie Sutton out there. The pass is just a little too long. Mike Jones defending. And it's 2nd down and 10 for Alabama from the Tennessee 47. The executive producer of ABC Sports, Brune Arledge. The producer of today's football telecast from Knoxville, Tennessee, Jim Feeney. Directed by William Bennington. The associate director, Joe Assetti, and Dick Pittenger. Techno director, Werner Gunther. Our engineering supervisor, Joe DeMonis. The assistant to the producer, Mike McCallum. Here is Scott Hunter, back to throw over the middle. It is caught by Danny Ford.
And Alabama's getting close to field goal position.
Just inside the 30-yard line, Alabama going without a huddle. 1st down on the Tennessee 30-yard line. A gain of 17 yards on the pass play. Hunter to Ford. Hunter turns, fires for the sidelines. That stops the clock as the pass was thrown over Donnie Sutton's head. And that gives us a chance to paint this picture as you see it on the scoreboard. 49 seconds to go in the ball game. Tennessee leading 10-9. Tennessee took the opening kickoff, drove it right down the field. 62 yards for the touchdown. Alabama got a field goal late in the first half. It was 7-3 at halftime. Tennessee added a three-pointer on a 54-yard field goal early in the 4th quarter by Crimser. Now Alabama is threatening. A pass intended and caught by Swafford. He had it when he went across the sidelines. It is a completed forward pass. Jim Weatherford objecting vigorously on the play.
Let's take a look at it again on isolated camera. You can see him taking the outside break, and he actually had the ball, a very clean catch. He did not fumble until he crossed the sidelines.
It is 3rd down. Ball is on the 25-yard line. 3rd and 5 for Alabama. It is the fullback, Pete Gillaba. He's inside the 20. That'll be a 1st down with 33 seconds to go, and it was Charlie Ferguson from Cuthbert, Georgia, that led.
And the clock is running.
20 seconds. The quarterback sneak trying for the first down.
And the clock is running.
On the first down, the clock stops as the quarterback, Hunter, waits for the first down to stop the clock. Throws for the sidelines. It is caught by Raniger. He steps out of bounds, and that stops the clock again. The ball is on the 19-yard line. We have 5 seconds to go in the game.
And do you take the field goal shot now on the last time out, or you try to hit one more pass?
Well, we have Mike Dean, number 26, on the field with a kicking tee in his hand.
And this is it.
Mike Dean from the 25. Blocked! The ball game is over. The field goal try from the 25 by Alabama was blocked by Jim Weatherford, who had a sensational day. And our final score is Tennessee 10, Alabama 9. And now this is Keith Jackson along with Bud Wilkinson saying so long from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Air travel arrangements for NCAA college football made through United Airlines, who also furnish promotional consideration.